Okay, just gotta reforge this item to salty. Just have to keep on clicking and checking each one. It'll be done really soon, I'm pretty sure of that. I've done this before, I think I should know better. It's a terrible process, actually. I spent 1,000,000 coins trying to get salty before. I spent hours just clicking this button over and over again, reading these texts. Does that say God? I guess that's not really good on a fishing rod, but it's not so bad, I don't know. What did that last one say? I guess I think I kind of stopped reading these. I just think I'm just clicking the button. How good is it and even is the salty reforge? Why am I even wasting my time? Hello everybody, it's Peanut Butter Kong, and in today's video we're going to be checking out the differences between the Salty Rod of Legends and the Godly. So the Godly, we have it a fully maxed enchanted rod, but has a 12% sea catch rate, but the Salty Rod of Legends has a plus 3%, giving it a total of 15% chance of catching a sea creature. We are going to be making sure as we fish, there will be no differences to when we begin and to when we stop. And in order to check this out, we're going to be using 3 stacks of spiked bait. If you've seen my last video on fishing, this is the best bait to use. You could use it in the daytime or nighttime. Also, we are going to be fishing in the park, and that's opposed to that last video where I was fishing by that large pond by spawn in the central town, and we are going to be pointing out the differences between those two results at the end of this video to see which might be a better place to go. And for those of you that are unaware, it does take in the realm of 15 minutes in real life to go through about a stack of spiked bait. So the fun part is you could always skip to the end of this process because I've already done it. Approximately 45 minutes later. Oh yeah, whew, alright, done. That was quick. Alright, we're gonna put it into my stash. And a little fun fact is I've actually visited this chest before because it's super giant, and in fact it's so big I need to grab a second chest to fill up all of my loot. So that's what the loot from the Salty Rod looks like. And we're going to be moving on to the Godly Rod of Legends, which should theoretically be worse because its reforged chance just gives more damage to any sea creatures you whack up, and which is pretty useless in my opinion, since I am going to be using my sword. I do want to point out I am using a blue whale pet since this doesn't have any outcome on fishing speed or pulling up sea creatures, so if there's any kind of leveling up with my pets, that's totally nullified since the blue whale pet has no outcome on actually fishing itself. I am going to point out a potential benefit of using the park, and that would be the fact that people can make it rain, which should have a positive outcome on fishing, and we're going to find out together how much of an outcome that will actually do. And in this case, it does seem like the Godly Rod of Legends, it's been raining more since I've been here this time, versus the Salty Rod of Legends, which should theoretically be the better fishing rod. So we'll even see, with this slight advantage, how the Godly stacks up. So we are skipping towards the end of the process here, almost there, and we're going to show off how much we've collected through the Godly fishing rod. So even with a slight rain advantage, the Godly fishing rod does fit all of the stuff I got into one chest, and we don't need an extra chest for it. So it's not looking so great for the Godly Rod of Legends. And this is the Salty Rod of Legends loot. I am going to be converting all of the raw material into their enchanted form so that I'll be able to go to the bazaar, check their prices, immediately after one of each other and avoid having really any kind of lag delay between the two times. So, let's get to the results of all of this. So, we are going to be running to the Bazaar one after another, and the Salty Rod of Legends 348,552 for all of the loot that we collected. We got some whale bait, which was a nice win. Another giant win were enchanted lily pads. Those really helped out with the amount of money that we were able to collect. But wait, there was even more. And for dramatic effect, 24,000 coins! A total of 373,000 coins for the Salty Rod of Legends. Sounds like that might be a nice haul, but have no clue yet. And we're going to be testing out the Godly Rod of Legends immediately after this so that we get the same market prices, and market prices haven't changed. Note, we did not actually sell the loot from the Salty to not affect market prices. So, sell now for the Godly is 177,000 coins. A far cry from that 373,000 coins. But wait, there was some left in the chest. Oh yeah, just some scraps, so about 6,300 coins. So that would give the Godly Rod of Legends 183,754 coins, and the Salty Rod of Legends would have 372,934. Way more than the Godly Rod of Legends. So, in this run, the Salty Rod of Legends was a clear winner. That extra 3% did significantly help out. Now, that seems like a big difference for that 3%. I wasn't expecting to see such a big difference between these two rods. I thought it would be something much more subtle, but it might just go to show you, you might get a little bit lucky with that sea creature, and maybe it'll make a big difference. I think it's possible that's what happened here. Another possibility is maybe that Reforge is very significantly better than not having that Reforge. I did do 3 stacks, so you did have a large amount of volume. Too much of the surprises should have been taken away. We are going to take a short interlude from this discussion of Salty vs. Godly, and we are going to test out the Salty Shredder as well. That's right, I'm going broke on fishing rods, testing out all of these. But, nonetheless, the Salty Shredder is a legendary fishing rod. It is 1 tier above the Rod of Legends, which is an epic rod. So, theoretically, one would assume that the tier change would do something significant, but the Salty Shredder unfortunately has a little bit less sea creature chance rate than you otherwise would have had with the Rod of Legends, but it has a 5% faster catch rate. Approximately 41-ish minutes later, that wasn't that much faster. So we're going to take these results to the Bazaar. And we have approximately 120,580 coins. That's the worst performance out of all of them. But wait a second. It didn't promise for extra sea creature catch rate. It promised for speed. So surely the money per hour must be the best. It's legend. Wait for it, hope you're not lactose intolerant. Dairy, after all. So this just naturally leads us to an Excel table. So the top of the table below that yellow highlighted section, that is what I worked on previously in another video comparing all of the baits to each other. And as you can see, the legendary Salty Shredder wasn't so legendary. It was the worst one that used spike bait. Now, this wasn't too surprising to me because, as I did find earlier in another video, it was all the baits that basically focused on the sea creature catch rate were the best baits to use, and anything that focused on speed was subpar. So the Salty Shredder I would recommend not to use. But when looking at the Salty Rod of Legends and the Godly Rod of Legends, I think a similar story appears here. I was a bit surprised to see such a stark difference, but I just it goes to show you can get some variability with fishing. Both that variability, the extra chance to catch a sea creature is significantly worthwhile to focus on. I would totally try to get a Salty Rod of Legends, and in this case for me, I spent a ton of coins trying to convert that Godly Rod of Legends to a Salty, and I just got dissuaded and just bought a Salty Rod of Legends on the auction house. If that happens to you, I would actually consider also buying a Salty Rod of Legends on the auction house. Last but not least, we are going to be comparing the differences between the Birch Park and the lake by the town, or the spawn lake, I would call it. And these differences are going to be the Salty Rod of Legends using 3 stacks, and we got 493 coins per hour versus the one where we fished around the lake, and that was 384,000 coins per hour. Thus, it seems from these results that the Birch Park is superior, and that might be due to the fact that players can call rain and give a little bit of boost to fishing. I think also, if you're using the Dolphin Pet in the Birch Park, it probably will help you out a lot more, as it does seem like a busier place to fish. So, if I had to go between these two areas, I would be thinking about using the Birch Park.